Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This Prophets of Awakening. This our evening Shabbat class, the 11th of February, 2023. Okay. I want to let everybody know we'll be reading out of the Second Maccabees, a couple of chapters out of the Second Maccabees out of the Apocrypha. I'm asking everybody to go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. A lot of information is given, and the videos will connect dots for you, lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay? This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah only. The Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Shalom and welcome to Prophets of Awakening, and welcome to our evening Shabbat class. And we're going to do our moment of silence, or our evening Sabbath prayer, Psalms, give some current events and a little need to know information, open up for some Q&A, and then we'll go into our reading out of Second Maccabees. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and Yahweh, our creator, and all that they're doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance. O Lord, I pray unto the Lord, my God, and we make our confessions, O Lord, the great and dreadful God. Keep the covenant and mercy to them that love thee, and to them that keep thy commandments. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of face, as it is this day, to the men of Judah, and unto the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel, that are near and that are far off, through all the countries where thou hast driven us, because of our trespass, that we have trespassed against thee. O Lord, hear this prayer and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary and thy people for your sake. O Lord, open thine eyes and incline thine ears to hear and to behold our condition. O Lord, hear. O Lord, forgive. O Lord, hearken and do. Defer not for thine own sake. O my Lord, for our people and your land need you desperately at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. I'm going to read the Psalms right quick. Okay. I'm going to read Psalms 112. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. His seed shall be mighty upon the earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed. Wealth and riches shall be in his house, and his righteousness endure forever. Unto the upright there riseth light in the darkness. He is gracious and full of compassion and righteous. A good man showeth favor and lendeth. He will guide his affairs with discretion. Surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. His heart is established. He shall not be afraid until he sees his desires upon his enemies. He hath dispersed. He hath given to the poor. His righteousness endure forever. His horn shall be exalted with honor. The wicked shall see it and be grieved. He shall gnash with his teeth and melt away. Desire of the wicked shall perish. Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? So I'm looking at verse 1. It says, blessed, praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord, that delighteth greatly in his commandments. Okay. That says it all for me right there. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to do some current events. Okay. For those people that don't know, they shot down another object in Alaska. It's not a weather balloon either.
Are we supposed to be hearing something?
Okay, you ain't hearing nothing?
No, we are not.
Okay. You don't hear that?
I do not hear it.
Can you hear that, Michelle?
No, sir, I can't hear anything.
Say what?
I can't hear anything.
Hello. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Good.
There is no sound still.
Say what?
There is
Can you
still
hear me
no
now?
no.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you speaking, but we can't hear the video playing.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on. I gotta figure it out. So I'm just gonna let me see. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna go to Q&A and see if anybody got any questions or comments about what they heard over the week or what they Friday night or last night or this morning for the Sabbath class. They got any questions or comments about anything? We can discuss it. Then I'll read out of the I'll read some couple chapters out of Second Maccabees. Anybody got any questions or comments?
No, sir, I don't have anything.
Okay, I'm gonna read out of we're gonna make this a short class. I'll read out of Second Maccabees. Okay. It says to the Jewish brothers in Egypt, the Jewish brothers in Jerusalem and the land of Judah, send greetings and wish you a perfect peace. May God bless you and remember his agreement with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his faithful slaves, and give you all a mind to worship him and do his will with a stout heart and a willing spirit. May he open your minds with his law and his statutes and make peace and listen to your prayers and be reconciled to you and not forsake you in adversity. This is our prayer for you here in the reign of Demetrius in the 163rd year. We Jews wrote in the extreme distress that overtook us in those years from the time that Jason and his men revolted, okay, devoted from the Holy Land and the kingdom, and set fire to the gateway and shed innocent blood. And we besought the Lord and were heard, and were off, and we offered sacrifices and meat offerings, and we lighted the lamps and set out the presentation loaves, and you must keep the camping out festival in the month of Chesan, the 183rd year. Those who are in Jerusalem and those in Judea and the Senate and Judas sent greetings and good wishes to Aristobulus, the teacher of King Ptolemy, who is one of the stock of the anointed priests, and of the Jews in Egypt. And we have been saved by God from great dangers. We offer devout thanks to him as men who array themselves against the king. He has drove, for he drove out those who arrayed themselves against him in the holy city. For when their leaders reached Persia with an army about him that seemed irresistible, they were cut down in the temple of Ninna through the treachery of the part of the priest of Ninna, and Antiochus with his friends came to the place on the pretext of marrying her in order to get a large sum of money by way of dowry. And when the priest of the temple of Ninna had brought out the money and had come with a few fellows inside the walls of the temple enclosure, they shut the temple with Antiochus. They shut the temple when Antiochus had gone in and opened the secret door in the ceiling and threw stones and struck down the leader and dismembered him and threw his head to the people who were outside. Blessed in every way be our God who brought the impious to justice. As we are about to celebrate the purification of the temple on the 25th day of the month of Chesan, we think it necessary to inform you so that you too may observe the camping out festival and the kindling of the fire when Nehemiah, who built the temple and the altar, offered sacrifices. For when our fathers were being taken to Persia, the pious priest of that day took some of the fire on the altar, hid it secretly in a hollow of an empty chest where they made it secure so that the place was unknown to anyone. Many years after, when it pleased God, Nehemiah was commissioned by the king of Persia and sent the descendants of the priests who had hidden the fire to get it. And when they reported to us that they could not find any fire but only muddy water, he ordered them to dip some out of and bring it to him. And when the thing be sacrificed and had been put in place, Nehemiah ordered the priests to sprinkle the water on the wood and the things that were laid on it. And when this was done, and some time had passed, and the sun, which had been clouded over, shined out, a great blaze was kindled, so that so they all wondered. And the priest uttered a prayer while the sacrifice was being consumed. And the priest and all present, Jonathan leading and the rest responding as Nehemiah did. And this was the prayer. O Lord God, creator of all things, who are terrible and strong and upright and merciful, who alone are king and good, the only patron, who alone are upright and almighty and eternal, who save Israel from every evil, who choose our forefathers, sanctify them, accept this sacrifice on behalf of all our people, your people, Israel, and watch over your allotment and make it holy. Gather together our scattered people, set at liberty those who are in slavery among the heathens. Look upon those who are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that you are our God. Afflict our oppressors and those who are violent in their arrogance. Plant your people in your holy place, as Moses said. Then the priest struck up behind him, and when the things that were sacrificed were consumed, Nehemiah ordered them to pour the water that was left on the large stone And when this was done, a flame was kindled. But when the light shone back from the altar, it went out. And when the thing became known, and the king of Persia was told that in the place where the priests that were departed had hidden the fire, water had appeared, and with it Nehemiah's people had burned up the things they sacrificed. The king, after investigating the matter, made the place a sacred enclosure, and the king exchanged many different gifts with his favorites. Nehemiah's people called this Nephilah, which is a translated purification, but most people call it Natali or whatever it is. It is also found in the records that the prophet Jeremiah ordered those who were carried away to take some of the fire as had been described, and that after giving them the law, the prophet charged those who were carried away not to forget the Lord's command and not to be led astray in their minds when they saw gold and silver and idols and their ornamentations and with other similar exaltations. He told them that the law should not pass from their hearts. It was also in the writings that the prophet, in their obedience to a revelation, gave orders that the tent and the ark should accompany him, and that he went away to the mountain where Moses went up and beheld God's inheritance. And Jeremiah came and found a cave dwelling, and he took the tent and the ark and the incense altar into it, and he blocked up the door. And some of those who followed him came up to mark the road, and they could not find it. But when Jeremiah found it out, he blamed them and said, "The place shall be unknown unto God's gatherers, the congregation of his people together, and show his mercy. Then the Lord will show where they are, and the glory of the Lord will appear, as they were shown in the days of Moses." And when Solomon asked that the place might be made very sacred, it was also stated that he, in his wisdom, offered a dedicatory sacrifice at the completion of the temple. And just as Moses prayed to the Lord, a fire came down from heaven, consumed his offering. So Solomon also prayed, the fire came down and burned up the whole burnt offering. And Moses said, because the sin offering had not been eaten, it was consumed. In like manner, Solomon also kept the 8 days. The same thing was related also in the records and memoirs about Nehemiah, in that he found a library and collected the books about the king and the prophets and the works of David, the royal letters about sacred gifts. In like manner, Judas also collected for us all the books that had been scattered because of the outbreak of war, and they are in our hands. So if you want them, send men to get them for you. Okay. So as we are about to celebrate the purification, we write to you. Please observe these days. It is God that has saved all his people and given them back their heritage and kingdom and priesthood and consecration as he promised through the law. For in God we have hope that he will speedily have mercy on us and gather us together from under heaven to the holy place. For he has delivered us from great misfortune and has purified the place. Now the story of Judas Maccabeus and his brothers and the purification of the great temple and the rededication of the altar and also the wars with Antiochus Epiphanes and his son Antipas and the heavenly manifestations shown to those who zealously championed the Jewish religion, so that the few as they were, they plundered the whole country and drove out the barbarian hordes and recovered the world-renowned temple and freed the city, restored the laws which were on the point of becoming destroyed, since the Lord, with great forbearance, has shown mercy to them. All this is as related by Jason of Cyrene in 5 books. We will try to condense into one volume, for in the view of the flood of statistics and the difficulty created by the abundance of material for those who wish to plunge into the historical narratives. We have aimed at attracting those who like to read and at making it easy for those who are disposed to memorize and and at being of being of use to all our readers, for us who have taken upon ourselves the painful task of abridgment. The thing is not easy and takes sweat and midnight oil, just as it is no easy matter for a man who prepares a banquet and strives to benefit others. Still, to win the gratitude of so many, we will gladly endure the painful task, leaving to the historian the investigation of details, but taking pains to follow the lines of epitome. For as the builders of a new house must have the whole structure in mind, while the men who undertake to decorate and paint uh, is only to seek out what is suitable for the adornment. So I think it is with us to enter upon the subject and discuss the matter fully and elaborate the details is a task of original historian, but one who rewrites, it must be permitted to seek brevity of expression and to forego the labored treatment of the matter. Here then, let us begin the story without adding more to what has already been said, for it is foolish to write a long preface to the history and then abbreviate the history itself. Okay, so that was First Maccabees chapter 1 and 2. Anybody get anything out of that or anything they want to shine light on?
Shalom. Yes, I have a
Okay,
question. When you was reading in chapter 1,
right.
let me go back. Verses 20 and 21.
Okay,
This seemed like this is not a normal fire. Like, is something going on here? It says they told us they found no fire but thick water.
right.
Then commanded he them to draw it up. So it's almost like I want to say maybe gasoline or something. It's like it's not a normal fire like they normally built because like I say, it says they told us they found no fire. So can you expound on that a little bit more and explain that?
Well, before they went to Babylon, when Nebuchadnezzar came and took them to Babylon, is when they said that uh, the fire it's a fire that they always got continuously burning, and then when Nebuchadnezzar came, uh, they had to do something with that fire because it was, they didn't want them to be they didn't want the heathen to be exposed to it. So Jeremiah took the substance, whatever it was that was causing it to burn like that, he took it and hid it. So while the whole time he was in Babylon, he knew where he had heated it. So when he came back, they say that the area where it was at that turned into mud, and the stuff, the coals or whatever it was, that all mixed with the mud. So Jeremiah just told him, just get the mud and all of it and bring it to me. So so they brought it to him. He put it on the fire, but he said that it didn't ignite until the sun came out and shined on it, and it didn't ignite it.
Okay,
So
then it started the fire up.
right, it's a
Okay.
substance that in it. It was a substance that was originally in it when Jeremiah placed it where he heated it. Okay, so it's just like, to me, I say it's the oil that in the Exodus where he told them to make to anoint all the vessels with.
Yes, sir.
That's, we don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the substance was that he had it put in there, we don't have that. It's just like the same with that. Whatever it was they was using to keep that fire burning, it was something God had gave them how to do it, whatever. It's the same with I don't know if you remember the story with when Samuel came with those angels and Adam and Eve, and let me see what that was. Can't think of it. I don't want to say the wrong name, man. It's the sixth one, Adam. I think it's Jared. Jared. He tricked Jared off of the mountain because they had the bodies of he had the bodies of all their forefathers in that cave with that light on it. Menorah was a menorah. And they had to keep it burning all the time. Do you remember that?
No, sir.
In the book of Adam and Eve. Adam on that. So when what Lucifer Samuel objective was he tricked Jared off of the mountain, and when he tricked him off, he sent some of his other angels back to go in there to put that fire out that was in the cave. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Flip through it right quick. Yeah, I see it.
You're in the book of Adam and Eve?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
71. Look like 71. It says, when Adam heard these words from Satan, no, it's not. It's Adam. Let me see. I might be in the wrong book. Because this is about Adam and Eve. Maybe. Okay. It's yes. See? Yeah, it's in chapter 20. It says, starting at verse 31, chapter 20. It looked like the second book, Adam and Eve. It says, and when they looked at the daughters of Cain, at their beautiful figures, and at their hands and their feet, dyed with colors, and the tattoos on their faces and the ornaments of them, the fire of sin was set ablaze in them. And Satan made them look more beautiful before the sons of Seth. And he also made the sons of Seth appear most handsome in the eyes of the daughters of Cain, so that the daughters of Cain lusted after the sons of Seth like ravenous beasts. And the sons of Seth lusted after the daughters of Cain until they committed disgusting and disgraceful acts with them. And after they had fallen into their defilement, they returned by the way of that he had came and tried to ascend the holy mountain, but could not, because the stones of the holy mountain were on fire, flashing before them, and prevented them from going up. Okay, let me see. Yes, it's before that. Okay.
Try page 156, verse 31. Then he stood still, and the old one went up to him and said to him, one thing we forget at the cave. It is
Right.
this: we forgot to put out the lamp that burns inside the cave.
Okay. Yeah, this is before. Yeah, right.
Before that? Okay.
No, that's it. That's it right there.
Okay.
So that's the story right there. It says, let's see, start at verse 36. It says they thought them so very handsome, and they called aloud about their places of for others to gather together and come and look at these beautiful beings. Then they gathered around them, both men and women. Then the old man said to them, we are strangers in this land. Bring us some good food and drink, and bring yourselves and your women, so we can entertain, refresh ourselves with you. And when those men heard these words of the old man, every one of the Cain's sons brought his wife, and another brought his daughter, and so many women came to them, everyone calling out to Jared either for himself or for his wife. Okay, and for his wife. But when Jared saw that they did or what they did, his very soul rich was in him for from them, and he would not taste the food or the drink. The old one saw him as he wretched himself from them, and he said to them, "Do not be sad. I am the great elder, as you shall see me do yourselves in like manner." Then he spread his hands and he took one of the women, and 5 of his companions did the same in front of Jared, that he should do as they did. But when Jared saw them doing their wickedness, he wept and said in his mind, "My fathers never acted." So that was before that. It was before this, after he got Jared down there, they tricked him off the mountain, so he got to go back. Yeah, here you go. 20, start at 22, and on page 55 says, when Jared, then Jared believed his words were true, so that the oldest said to Jared, "Wherefore did you turn about?" So as when he said, "I was seeking one of my children to tell him about me going with you and about your coming down to those about whom you have spoken to me." And when the old one, this Samuel, when the old one heard Jared's intentions, he said to him, "Do not worry about that right now, but come with us, and you shall see our country. If the land in which we live pleases you, we shall all return here and take your family with us. But if our country does not please you, you shall come down to you shall come back to your own home." And the old one urged Jared to go before one of his children came to talk him out of his decision. Jared then came out of the cave and went with them and among them, and they comforted him until they came to the top of the mountain of the sons of Cain. Then the old one said to one of his companions, "We have forgotten something." This is what we're talking about right here. By the mouth of the cave, and that is the chosen garment we had brought to clothe Jared with. And then he said to one of them, "One of you go back, and I will wait for you here until you come back. Then will we clothe Jared, and he shall be like unto us, good and handsome, and fit to come with us into our country." Then that one went back, but when he was a short distance off, the old one called him and said unto him, "You stay there until I come up and speak to you." Then he stood still, and the old one went up to him and said unto him, "One thing we forgot at the cave. We forgot to put out the lamp. See that burns inside the cave. Also the bodies that are in there, do it and come back quickly." So that was Adam's body. Those men before the flood bodies was in the cave, and they had a menorah in there that burned.
Okay.
So we sent them back and we put it out. Okay.
Got you.
And so that's why they say that Adam's body and all that was on the ark. But evidently, it's some was going on with it. They're different. We done lost a lot. So, they lived longer, and then their bodies didn't just decay. Something else was going on. Yeah. Anybody else got anything? I gotta figure. I'm gonna cut it off short because I gotta figure out what this is going on with this computer. Everybody good?
Yes,
What's
Yes,
up,
sir.
sir.
Mark? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had a blast last night and this morning. So yeah, I see everybody on Tuesday at for Bible study, advanced Bible study. Shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Okay.
Shalom, everyone.
Okay.